This is a journey to discover the essence of one of the world's most ancient civilizations. Discovering China.
Hi, I'm Melina Wang and welcome to Discovering China, your guide to the 5,000 years of classical Chinese civilization. Coming up for you today, Margaret Trey visits a traditional Chinese garden. Ben Hedges speaks with Robin Luo about his award-winning cooking, and we take a look at traditional Chinese clothing. In addition to being known for its blue and white china, the Ming Dynasty, which ran from 1368 to 1644, was also famous for its gardens. Margaret Trey went to visit the first Chinese scholar garden in America on Staten Island, New York, to find out more about this traditional art form.
From ancient times to present day, gardens have served a key role in the culture and identity of societies. The Ming Dynasty, which started in 1368, has been widely attributed as the pinnacle of classical Chinese garden art. These famous Ming Dynasty-style gardens can be found in the city of Suzhou in China's southeast Jiangsu province. Today, some of these classical Chinese gardens are World Heritage Sites. Here in New York, nestled within the Staten Island Botanical Garden, is an authentic but modern-built Chinese scholars' garden.
This is a Ming-style garden from basically the middle of the Ming period to the end of the Ming period.
It is a miniature compared to some in Suzhou.
We are the first scholars garden in the United States. It's about 1 acre in size, and it's located here at Snug Harbor Cultural Center in Staten Island, New York.
The New York Chinese Scholars Garden shows the characteristics of traditional Ming-style Chinese gardens. Winding garden paths are paved with pebbles leading to waterfalls and ponds with colorful fish. Rocks, bamboo, pine and plum trees and a diverse variety of plants are specially selected for their shape, seasonal character and symbolic meaning. But not everyone in China could experience these gardens.
Well, this would be a reflection of a rich Chinese lifestyle. The peasant would probably never have anything like this. And I think that the scholars' garden is almost a pun on words, because they were scholars, but they were first rich bureaucrats.
These wealthy, educated Chinese designed the gardens as peaceful heavens for retreat.
This would be an inner courtyard of the housing complex. And at that point, the retired bureaucrat would then try to become a scholar again, and he would study. He would do his calligraphy, his paintings, his poetry, and he would live here with his extended family.
Altman sees Chinese Scholars' Garden as traditional art form worth protecting.
And this is basically an art form that the Chinese designed back in the Ming period that we do not want to lose.
For one visitor in particular, the garden serves as a venue for art.
And he comes here usually 3-4 times a week with his flute after he goes at work, and he plays his Chinese flute here. And I asked him, we used to charge him until finally he said, "Why are we charging you? You're entertaining us." And this gave him a chance just to relax and go back to his roots, he said. And he has 3 or 4 different flutes, and he plays different flutes at different times of the day.
Altman says, even in our modern society, one needs a place to unwind, just like those ancient wealthy Chinese scholars.
And Margaret will bring you more on Chinese gardens next week. Over the past few weeks, Ben Hedges has been discussing the fine details of traditional Chinese cuisine with masterchef Robin Luo, winner of NTV's 2011 culinary competition. This week, Robin tells us some of the secrets behind his award-winning dishes.
I'm here in the studio with Robin Luo. He was the winner of NTV's Chinese culinary competition in Times Square last year. Thank you very much for joining us today, Robin.
你是厨艺大赛的第1名，请您介绍一下您得奖的那盘菜。
我总共做了几盘菜，一盘就是清蒸鱼，很传统的；一个是白切鸡，一个是海鲜茄子包，一个是肉丝煎面。 首先说肉丝煎面，它需要一个很脆很软，就是里边是脆，里边是软，外面是脆那个面那个肉丝是比较嫩，它煎起来就是火候要比较掌握的比较好。清蒸鱼呢，要蒸的一点腥味都没有，觉得很鲜，保持它的最鲜味。茄子包呢，它是一个混合的一个菜，它是要做起来是很香啊，这个菜。
你觉得这几盘菜为什么会得奖？
因为我把传统的东西，就是我了解到的传统都融入这个几个菜的做法。因为我还是守着传统的比较好吧，这个味道很正很纯啊，没有什么别的掺杂别的一些杂的味道进去。
您做的菜都是很传统的，
对，
所以中国传统的菜和在西方的中餐馆做的菜有什么不同？
中国传统的菜呢，它是很注重它的一种技法，就是比较清脆，比较清淡，因为它就是最好是保存它原来的那种食材的味道。然后呢，西方的在中餐馆呢，就是它是比较注重sauce 的味道，就是偏重于sauce，然后呢，食材的味道它好像改变了很多。
这种传统的菜，如果在西方推广的话，西人会习惯吗？
我估计会有个阶段，但是我最终因为西方人也很会生活，很养生，他最终还是接受健康的食品。我认为是这样，传统的东西就是很接近健康食品
啊，很有意思。
对对对，
谢谢 ，Thank you very much, Robin, for joining us today.
Last weekend, Newtown Dynasty's sister station, NTD Asia Pacific Television, held the preliminary rounds of NTD's 2012 Chinese culinary competition in Taipei, Taiwan. Out of the 62 chefs who entered the preliminaries, 14 made it through. They represent all 5 major categories of Chinese cuisine. They will join the finals on Times Square in New York this September. Part of NTD Television's mission is to promote and revive traditional Chinese culture. Last weekend in Taipei, it wasn't just Chinese food that was on show. Attendees of the competition also had the chance to try out traditional Han Couture, a type of clothing lost after the start of the Ming Dynasty in the 1600s.
I have wanted to wear it since I was young. I feel a little like the legendary Chang'e because my hair is done a little like hers.
On the sidelines at NTD's recent culinary competition in Taipei, audiences had a chance to experience traditional Chinese clothing, or Han Couture. Posing for pictures with models,
it feels like they have jumped out of their time period and come over here. It's really a pleasure to see.
or trying on the outfit themselves.
It's gentle and beautiful, and then you feel a certain essence wearing it, because you have to be careful how you walk wearing it. So you gradually start to exhibit the traditional etiquette and walk in a more beautiful way. These clothes bring out a woman's strong points.
Han Couture is the traditional dress of Han Chinese, the majority ethnic group in China. But this style was mostly no longer worn after China was invaded by the Manchurians from the north at the end of the Ming Dynasty in the 17th century. It was replaced with Qing Dynasty styles, popular today, such as the qipao.
You shouldn't destroy traditions. Traditions definitely have to be protected. We should make full use of these things, rather than getting one taste and creating something new.
Now Han Couture is regaining popularity. While the clothing may not be practical in the modern age, it allows Chinese to reconnect with their traditions.
And that's a wrap for this week's show, but remember, we have a brand new program for you every Friday. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a great weekend.